Philly Jamz, 95.3 FM.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to The Rebirth. This is your girl, Shay Marriott, the host of The Rebirth. And joining me tonight is my homeboy, Mr.
Eli Isabel, fresh off of vacation, and I smell like it too. What's happening, Shay? What's happening, Rebirth? What's happening, Philly 95.3 Jamz? What's good?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Tell me something slick, but make it stick. What's up, Shay? Talk to me.
I don't know. Please explain what that means.
Tell me, somebody tell me something good. Make it make sense.
Tell me something good.
Tell me something slick, but make it stick.
Okay.
It needs to have substance.
Okay.
If you're gonna say something to me, I'm tired of talking crazy folk who don't make no sense.
Okay. All right.
So tell me something sensible.
Welcome to The Rebirth, everybody.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving. Did you guys have a good holiday? How was your holiday, Eli?
My holiday was awesome. I went back home to Arkansas, hung out with my family, my friends. Too much of everything.
Yeah, I saw some of the pics, man. That food looked like it was
Whole lot of stuff. I had some chitlins, but you know what? I didn't even eat them. I had a plate full of them.
What you do with them? You just had a plate full of them, just looked at them?
Yeah, I did. And then because I love them, but then I was just looking at them. I was kind of like, not this year.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my life together now. You know, I'm on my water. I'm not gonna drink no more than February 1st.
Dude. Listen, I can't. I've never, ever had chitlins
In my
whole life.
38 years on this earth.
38 years on this earth. Thank you, sir.
Really?
Appreciate you.
Does your family make them?
No. That just was not something that I grew up with. I think my grandmother, she cooked them one time, and like I couldn't even stand in the house. I couldn't even stay in the house. The smell just got to me.
That's a black man sushi.
But no. Nope. Can't do it, won't do it, ain't gonna do it.
If your ass is back in 1848, you might hire your little chitlins. And they probably wouldn't clean as good back then either. Due to technology or lack thereof.
Due to technology. Whatever. So yes, welcome to The Rebirth, guys, where real talk with real people about real topics. Tonight, we are going to be talking about managing conflict amongst friends. So we got a good show for you tonight. Make sure you call in at 267-908-3166. Again, that's 267-908-3166. Make sure you follow us on all social media outlets. And of course, if you would like to be a guest of The Rebirth Show, make sure that you contact me at info@rebirthu.com. All right, guys.
Hold on, sponsorship.
Oh. Go ahead. You got that.
Well, if you like to also sponsor the show and we'll get up here and talk about your product, we might even let you come here talk about your product. But just know it's going to cost you. Might cost you a little. Might cost you a lot. But it's going to cost you. But come on in, though. We got the whole tri-state area and the web covered. So you never know. Come on now.
That's right.
Rock with the birth.
That's right. Well, tonight we have a special guest. And I know we haven't gotten to right here, right now yet. But we're going to get there. But I have to introduce this young lady. Mm-hmm. Yes. Miss Jen Fontel. Yes. Hello, Jen. Welcome back. I know it's been a minute since you've done a show. You haven't been, with us since we've come to Philly Jamz. So welcome to Philly Jamz.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm low key. This is official.
All right now.
It's official.
So what you trying to say about the last studio, Jen Fontel?
It was still official, but this is official.
Okay.
Official.
Okay.
All right now.
Okay. Official. She looked cute tonight too. Look, she knew we was gonna be on video, so she wanna come in here all fly, try to show us up.
I ain't doing my hair, y'all.
In here looking like Janelle Monáe at the Soul Train Awards 2 years ago. I see you. You looking good though.
You know the vibes.
I cannot with you. I cannot. Jen, how have you been? What's been going on?
I haven't been at 100. Been going through a lot of different health issues. So it's been a journey.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you got to keep on fighting. Keep on fighting. So tonight we are going to be talking about managing conflict amongst friends. I'm just curious, I know this was something that you wanted to discuss. Why this topic? Why did you want to talk about managing? We got some conflict, Jen, that we need to settle. We got some conflict beef right now we need to settle.
What's beef?
Now, what made you want to talk about this conflict? I mean,
This conflict.
Yeah, this conflict tonight.
I think just lately, just a lot of the things that I've been seeing amongst different friendships and hearing just throughout people my age and generation. And I think that this is a topic that deserves as much attention as relationship conflict as well. You know what I mean? And I don't think that we have as much attention on this subject as much as relationships.
Okay. All right. Well, that's definitely. We just trying to make sure your mic is good because I can barely hear you. If you're watching, guys, can you send me some heart to let me know if you can hear Jen coming in?
Someone said we sounded far away.
We sound a little far away?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's make sure that we're good before we go any further with this conversation because I want to make sure we're getting all the information.
You got to bring it in, Jen.
Can you hear me now?
Say again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's kind of like you're in and out a little bit. I don't know if that's how the viewers hear it too, but let's work. We got our master super producer over there. She gonna make it do what it do. Can we switch her mic?
Oh, the mic wasn't plugged in. The mic wasn't plugged in.
All right.
You trying to sabotage
Can you hear me
us.
now?
We can hear you now.
I'm back, y'all.
All right. She in the building. Okay.
It's all good.
Why
That's
you want
all
to talk about
good.
this subject? Because nobody heard you.
Yes.
I basically said that I feel like there's not enough attention on friendship conflict. There's more dialogue, more videos about navigating conflict in relationships, right? And I feel like just personally with amongst different friendships and in my generation, I see a lot of passive aggressive styles of communication and conflict avoidance. And so I wanted to come on here so that, we can have an open dialogue about conflict and how to navigate that in friendships, and that conflict isn't a negative thing. It's natural.
Right. And it's healthy.
Yes, very.
Yes.
Let's get into that.
I always say you could say anything to anybody. It's how you say it. It's
Amen.
really how you say it. It's really about your delivery when we're talking about conflict. And I think I was tested this week with conflict. But
The holidays?
It wasn't a bad thing. I think it was a learning. It's learning. It's learning. You know what I'm saying? Because through conflict, you also learn more about the person, right? You learn more about the person. You learn more about what you like, what you don't like. Sometimes you don't even realize that a certain thing is going to make you feel a certain way until it actually happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think to be able to process, okay, well, I'm feeling something. I'm not for sure exactly what it is that I'm feeling, but it is something that I'm feeling uncomfortable with. And I need to let you know that something is bothering me. And as soon as I'm able to process that, then I will be able to tell you what it is, right? So, yeah, I think it's about it helps you with the, having effective communication.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, people that deal with conflict don't always have effective communication.
Right.
And I think people also confuse conflict with yelling and screaming.
Or worse.
So people avoid conflict.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to get in an argument with you. I don't want you to. No, I'm not arguing. We're having a conversation.
Right.
But because you're feeling uncomfortable with it, you want to, and then some people get defensive.
Right.
Right. So I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let you, because I didn't got on my soapbox.
No, it's
I'm gonna
perfect.
let you, kind of talk to us a little bit more in regards to conflict within friends. Have you experienced conflict with your own friendships, girl? And who is she?
100%. I absolutely have experienced conflict in my friendships. But before I delve into that, I wanted to kind of share a little bit about, I think, why conflict gets this negative bad rap. You know, I think sometimes we don't have the skills yet to be able to manage and have those difficult conversations, and so sometimes conversations go left. Whether that's part of our doing or, you know, part of the other person that we're having that conversation with.
Right.
I also think that it's also how we experience conflict growing up, right? And our ability to, our confidence in our ability to manage that conflict. So
Right.
I grew up in a household, right, in a Haitian household, where the conflict style was conflict avoidance and passivity. So for those who may not know, so conflict avoidance is just what it says. You know, we avoid conflict at any costs, right? And passivity, we abandon everything that we want for the sake of the relationship. So a lot of the times growing up, there would be a lot of resentment, right? There would be a lot of different issues going on, but it's not until one small thing, one minute thing, right, happens that all of these things are coming out into on the table, right?
Right.
And so naturally, because of the things that I've experienced in my childhood and that communication style, that's the way that I learned to handle conflict, you know, throughout my relationships.
Generational stuff,
Exactly.
right? Generational
Exactly.
stuff.
What about you guys? What was your conflict style in your childhood?
We can touch on that. Can we take our caller real quick? This is awesome. You
Okay.
hold that thought.
Okay.
We got you. I'm gonna talk about that. Mine wasn't passive. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Okay.
So
Okay, we got a call on the line. Hello, this is the Rebirth, Philly Jamz 95.3. Please state your name, caller.
Hi, my name is C.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for calling.
all right. So listen, I know this young lady here, and so let me give a quick backstory.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna let her take it from there. So this is definitely a Axe Rebirth segment instead of right here right now. We normally do right here right now before we lead into the show, but because Jen's here, we just let her go and we couldn't stop her. You know, who tells Janelle Monáe to be quiet?
Period.
No one. So, however, Jen, hold what you got
Okay,
though.
I got it.
So quick backstory to our caller calling in. So there is a young man who is walking in his faith. Very Christian young man. He is trying abstinence the whole nine. 26, 27, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, caller, when you get on the line. But he has
You're
met
correct.
okay, 26, 27. So he has met a young lady who is trying to take him to a certain place that he doesn't want to go. Caller, take it from there, because I thought this was awesome that we can get feedback from the ladies in the room. I've kind of said my piece today when we were all hanging out. So caller, take it from there.
So this girl basically expressed that she had a dream about a sexual encounter that they had in the dream. As said, that he is, in his walk of faith, and I'm not sure if she's sexually active or not, or if she's, born again, So I think it was very inappropriate that she would, leave him to temptation with this type of, dream, talking about this dream about the sexual encounter, when he is very morally into his walk of faith. So, I think it's
you know what, you're right.
Disrespectful.
So
my stand was, I think it was disrespectful.
Yeah.
And what was the intention of it? And why would you even lead him down that temptation, even though I know we are all in the flesh, but you know how he is. So what was the point of her even saying that or bringing that up?
So, the first thing that comes to mind for me, and this is Shay talking, is this is something that not all women, but some women do. We know things about these men prior to us dating, prior to us getting into these commitments, and we still go forth with it thinking that we're going to change the person in some type of way. So I'm thinking that this young lady, aka Eve, thought that she was going to, by sharing her dream, would be a turn on for him, and that she was going to change his perspective about sex.
this is also a long
it is
distance
disrespectful.
getting to know each other too. I don't know if we put that little caveat out there.
Oh yeah, we forgot to say that. Yes, he does not live here.
Okay.
But they have been talking, and they are, getting to know each other over the last few months on the phone. And, he is steadfast in what he believes in and the direction he wants to go.
Yeah.
And even, can you talk about her Facebook post that he shared with us about what she put?
So we were told that she, posts some sexual, content on her social media, a little bit of aggressively. That's not uncommon these days, but I just feel though that he should stay away from someone like that because I don't feel like she respects his walk. So we were just I think he's kind of on the fence about, just, letting it go forward or cutting it off, but he's on the fence about it. But I'm dead set against, I think he should cut it off and block her, but that's just me.
So, so we're talking about managing conflict. Has he expressed to this young lady how her behavior has made him feel?
Right.
We did not actually get into that. I didn't want to kind of dig into that because I feel like that's leading down the temptation path. Like, I don't even want to, ask that because I hope, I'm sure people are curious if you're in that type of lifestyle, which I respect it. But, I don't try to pry that far in, but because he's doing it for a reason. But I don't know.
Let me give you my feedback that I gave him.
Yeah.
So I think here's two things. I told him, I said, I don't think you have to necessarily cut her off, but you have to be firm and, don't let her compromise who you are trying to become in your walk. And if you are making it clear to her, this is, what you desire not to do. And if she doesn't respect that, then you have to cut her off. But the flip side of that is I play devil's advocate, no pun intended. That's a big fly. Got a bat in here. Don't hurt yourself. Okay. So, however, devil's advocate for me says to what he has that's great about him could actually maybe change her life. We're concerned about her, corrupting him. Maybe there could be some positive corruption from his part onto her.
I agree.
You know what I mean? We're just automatically assuming that this brother might not be strong enough to withstand the pressure that she may present to him. Maybe he can rub off on her. Well, not rub off. Maybe he can help her, strengthen her walk. Yeah, I know, wrong use of words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. But that's why I said it's important. Again, we're talking about managing conflict. So this is a conflict.
Right.
So it's not about, digging deep or anything. I think it's more so you have to allow a person to at least be able to defend why they did. Just put it out there. If he cares about this young lady and he is trying to get to know her,
right,
then he has to be able to express, hey, remember I told you that this is where I am and your behavior is making me feel whatever that feeling is.
Right.
Moving forward, I would appreciate if you, do not do that or put me in that type of situation. And if she cannot handle that, then you can cut the relationship off. But at least put it out there first so she can be able to say either she can handle it or she can't.
Right. Okay. That's fair. I think I did see where Ed was coming from with his, perspective. But then I got a little concerned when, the coworker said that she posts these type of sexual things on social media. I feel like at that point, are you trying to seek validation from the masses at that point? So I feel like at this point, she's kind of far gone. I feel like it's not just, I had this, conversation with, this guy and these are my thoughts about, whatever. But now these are my thoughts and everybody knows this is how I think sexually too. And the DM is popping after that. And the DM is popping out after that. She posted something referring to reverse cowgirl. So every dude that follows her is now possibly in her DM. You know what I mean? I see. Is she doing it for attention or is she just like, who knows? Yeah,
well, see, now, the more information that's coming out, again, is this someone that the character of the person, you know what I'm saying? Right. So that's the other thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? If the character of the person is not in line, it's not aligned with who you are and where you're trying to be, then then yes, he does need to go ahead and cut that off.
Right.
Because that's a character issue right there. You know what I'm saying? So, Carly, we gotta have a little bit more information.
we gave y'all. I know we gave y'all bits and pieces.
I
mean, this is more so for the young gentleman, but I think the question would be, what would be the fear, or what is the fear in addressing the conflict or the issue head on? I think a lot of times when we experience conflict, there's some kind of fear, right? Whether it's the relationship not working out, something catastrophic happening, us yelling, or your feelings getting hurt, or my feelings getting hurt. So the question would be, what would be the worst thing that could happen in addressing this issue head on? You know what I mean?
True that.
And then I also want to take a point to say that conflict can also be an opportunity to set and enforce a boundary. And you hit on that, Shay, when you talked about what is he willing to accept? And if that's not something that she's willing to respect, then he can make the decision to move forward from that relationship.
Yep, absolutely.
True that.
Absolutely. So that's our feedback with that, caller. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks for calling in, caller. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Have a good night, you guys.
You too.
Thank you, too.
And if he can somehow get her to convert her life and become, better than she was yesterday and walk with him and still keep the reverse cowgirl for after they get married.
I cannot.
That's a win-win.
I cannot.
Who doesn't want that? What's wrong with that? Christians go reverse cowgirl. I'm just saying.
I cannot with you.
Shout out to Corey Van, Emery Marshall, Rella Delic. I hope I'm saying that right. What up, Shane? What's up, homie? Happy holidays, bruh.
Oh, by the way, man, where's my gumbo?
Oh, so you making gumbo
Where's
now?
my gumbo?
I told you when I came back, I would make it. I just came back last night.
All right. I'm just checking. All right, let's get back to the topic at hand. Miss Jen Fontel.
Yes.
Yes. So I was asking you guys about conflict styles growing up.
Okay, Eli.
So conflict style in my house. So the fortunate thing about me being really young, growing up, I had older siblings, so I saw a lot of that conflict get handled physically. So as I came along, I kind of knew I didn't want any conflicts for me to be resolved in that way. So I think that it made me. It probably made me not the kind of person that would seek out conflict with anybody, because I learned I didn't want conflict, because what it looked like to me was a physical, you gonna get your butt whooped. So I think as I was coming up, I just associated conflict with physical beatings. You know what I'm saying? So I get your ass whooped. Yeah. I ain't gonna say physical beating sound like, child protective services should be involved, but you got your ass whooped. Yeah. So, but as I've become an adult, and even older now, I think I've gotten better. It still took a while, but I think I'm much better at, and because we work with these kids, and that's all we talk about is use your words.
Yeah.
And like she said, ain't what you say, is how you say it. But I'm better at expressing myself and sharing how I feel. And you know what I've learned as a man? If you're not arguing with a woman or with whoever, if you're not all rah-rah, but you're just getting your point across, it creates, the argument goes longer. If I'm calm and I'm expressing how I feel within this conflict, and I'm not meeting you where you are, it makes the argument worse. And I'm gonna put that on the women. Y'all need to get that together.
Listen now, y'all get a little anxious as well too. Now that voice start getting a little, the bass hit the voice.
Yeah.
Like, why you yelling at me? I'm not yelling.
Right.
I'm just passionate about what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a cop out. That's a cop out. I say I'm country. We loud. That's what I blame it on. You know I'm from the South. We loud.
Oh, conflict style in my household. Honestly, that's a good question. With me.
Like growing up in your household, like what did you observe?
Your twin.
What did I observe?
Like with your mom, how does she handle conflict?
So it was always me and my mom. So there was nobody for her to have conflict with. But I was a good child.
Listen,
I was a good baby, honey.
whenever a person says that, they lying.
It's Satan, spawn Satan.
That's the equivalent of the person saying. That's the equivalent of a person saying, "Well, I don't mean no harm." Before they get ready to say something, yeah, your ass do.
No,
you mean some harm.
No. So again, when I said you could say anything is how you say it, right? I remember one time, because I didn't get beatings like that. I didn't. My mom, I said something and it came out the wrong way, and I couldn't snatch it back in. Only thing I remember was my lips was numb.
Whoa, Miss Williams.
And I was literally she backhanded me, and that was the first and last time I ever talked back to my mom. Right, so she established respect right there. So, but I think when it came down to, it wasn't conflict, but what I will say is, I think that as I became an adult, I realized that a lot of things was not talked about. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's a whole different topic, but a lot of things was not talked about, or you didn't get the full story. And I think that's in every Black family. You know what I'm saying?
Secrets.
Right. So things, some things wasn't talked about, or now my grandma didn't play. So my grandmother, she did not play with my uncles.
Can't play with them boys.
She didn't play with them, So she'll say what she had to say, and then she'll pray for you the next moment. So, but outside of that, I grew up, as my mother's only child. So my mom worked a lot. She was going to school. She was working. So if there was any conflict going on, it was between me and my imaginary friends.
Oh boy, that's a different show right there. The therapist needs a therapist.
Whatever.
But I have a comment. Let me say this to you, and I'm thinking about our culture, like Black folk in general, and especially I guess it's been across the board. I was going to say especially this generation, but I think it's across the board. I really notice now that like when I see people in the street, or if I see people that are in a relationship or whatever it may be, every disagreement is handled with aggression. Like it's like we do not have the ability to sit down, especially young people.
Yep.
I got to get a gun. You call me a punk or you stepped on my shoe, I gotta die over that.
It's like I'm purposely going to disrespect you,
Right? Like
which is not called for.
it's crazy. And here's the crazy part. I work with the little babies. I see them handle conflict in the same way. If someone takes a toy from them or won't I want to play with it, it's my turn, they don't give it to them, smack.
Yep.
And it's taught early. Like what are we doing? Like how do we curve that?
I think a couple of things. So that style of communication, that physical aggression, is called or described as competitive confrontation, right? It's a forceful push for what we want. And I think in choosing to handle conflict differently, we first have to be aware of our communication patterns, right? And so I talked a little bit about some different communication styles: conflict avoidance, avoiding conflict. You have competitive confrontation, forceful push for what we want. You have passivity, abandoning what you need for the sake of the relationship. And then you have passive aggression.
Been there.
So being able to identify what is your
Sorry, flash.
what is your communication style? First, being aware of that, because I think you can't change or introduce anything different effectively if you're not aware of what your communication style is. So, and I also think that we also need to be aware that somebody out here is seeing our behaviors. Like we are modeling our behaviors, whether we know it or not. And this is irregardless of whether you have children or not, because there are people out in the community that do see your behaviors. You have people out in work.
Yep. Work is the worst.
Oh my God.
And we're talking about adult, quote unquote, adult professionals. I see people, and I work with 99% women. So again, I'm not going to say it's women all the time, because men are very aggressive, and men will, another dude will shoot me faster than a racist guy would. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that.
Yep.
However, I don't want to be shot, period. But however, I hate that part. But I see the women at my job, it could be something small, and they don't talk for months.
Passive aggressive.
Like we're all on the same floor,
AKA pettiness.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like work confrontations or work conflict is just the worst.
Yeah.
It is the worst, but in the same breath, it's the best playing ground to be able to practice those skills, right? Because again, conflict is a natural part of life, right? And being able to resolve conflict in a way that's professional. Sometimes that could be super challenging, especially at work. Like, have any of you guys experienced anything at work that was conflict that was super hard to resolve? Or made you come out of character?
Don't nobody mess with me at work. You know that. Don't nobody mess with me at work.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
When you said it, I recall this one incident.
Okay.
That.
What's her name?
It wasn't her. It was
His name.
What's his name?
Nah, we're not going there. But anyway, it was just a discussion. We were just having a conversation, and we were kind of like giving perspectives on each, my perspective, their perspective, some of the other team members, their perspective, and it felt as if it was I probably shouldn't be discussing this right now. I'm gonna let that go.
They must still work with you.
It just felt it didn't feel good. It was during the time where we was having all our black men being shot down. It just didn't, and I had to explain it wasn't me being an angry black woman. It was me being passionate about what was going on right now, what we're seeing and how it's affecting us versus how it's affecting you.
Right. So the person was white. We halfway there. We just need a name. We just need a name now.
Anyway, moving forward. But it could have gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
But I was able to, express myself a little bit. I had to stay calm, although I was heated. I had to stay calm, and then that person was able to also apologize for how they came off, and we were fine. So I don't think it was anything that was intentionally, but they wasn't being intentional about trying to make me feel a certain way. It's just sometimes you have to educate people about certain things, and I don't care how many people that you might know that is of different race, you still don't know exactly what a person may be going through because you're not that race.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not that ethnicity. So,
But sidebar, I'm exhausted by having to have teachable moments with adults about race, social class, social economic status.
Right.
Like as an adult, you haven't. If you just watch TV, even if you want to do any real research or just hit your little friend Google, I don't. If we're both late 40s, I shouldn't have to have a teachable moment with you. No, you've been in this world long enough to know, and I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, it's not our job to do.
Yeah, I'm over that part.
Yeah,
it's time you get smacked in the face.
Yeah, that's not my job to teach you. If you really want to know about the culture, you want to know, about microaggressions and and all of that stuff, then you learn that. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I had someone say that to me. Teach me. I just want to know. I want to.
Teach me.
Teach me.
Wow.
I'm going to teach you, all right. I'm going to teach you.
I mean, we have a lot of
therapy later.
Look, period. Okay. Look, we have a lot of resources in this day and age. And at some point, we can't always blame ignorance or chalk it up or lean on other people to do the work for us. So, and it actually, in bringing up that situation, it kind of brings up another good point in addressing conflict is being aware of your triggers, right? What makes you upset? What are your hot button things? Because, sometimes that provides you information about, okay, maybe right now might not be the best time to have this conversation because I know I'm not going to be able to have a very productive and civil conversation, right?
Yeah.
So being aware of the things that makes you upset, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's a big one. That is a big one. You
Absolutely.
got to know your triggers. I believe I am aware of my triggers. And when I feel myself getting there, and again, paying attention. Because your body tells you when you're getting upset. You know what I'm saying? Your body starts to tell you. Now we said earlier that when we're talking about conflict, it doesn't have to result to a place of where we're angry, right?
Right.
But this is when conflict starts to become, we start to feel ourselves becoming out of control. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I tear up. When I know that I'm getting to a place, I will tear up in a minute, right? Now, don't take my tears for weakness down.
Right.
You ain't no punk.
You see me tear up.
Okay.
Now,
it's about to go down.
Hey, listen. So, I have to kind of like pull it pull it together, and I'll say, you know what, give me a minute. I need to process this, or I'm not going to keep talking or try to have this conversation when we're not hearing each other. Right. The other thing is, my other trigger is don't talk over me.
Yes.
Don't talk over me. If we're having a conversation and you're asking me a question, but then you're answering the question and still trying to make your point, now I'm completely shut down. Exactly. I don't want to talk no more. I don't want to talk. Nope. I don't want to talk. Period. Literally. And don't raise your voice.
Period.
You don't need to raise your voice.
Oh my God. You're like hitting the nail right on the head.
Yeah, so those are my triggers.
For me, I would say talking over me as well. Like, I just lose my train of thought. Because at this point, I feel like the intent is to interrogate or challenge what it is that I'm saying than actually, understand. Just to kind of think about, like, if the shoe was on the other person, this is for the listeners, like, how would you want someone to approach a conversation with you, right? And I think the most productive thing to do is having the mindset or intention going in with the mindset to understand. I think sometimes where we may get caught up is we have this fixed outcome of how things are supposed to resolve in the conflict. You know what I mean? Can you relate to that?
I can relate to that. And then let me just kind of piggyback off of what you guys were saying as far as triggers. I think you also have to be mindful of the people you're fighting with, especially if you know them well and they know you well. Some people fight dirty.
Yeah.
So they come into the argument already intent on pushing you to that point. But whatever that key phrase is, whatever that word is, they know what to do to take you there. And once a person has been triggered, there's not going to be any resolution. And a lot of people are okay with that. Like, they're okay with having an argument and there being no resolution. So you have to be careful of arguing with a person who fights dirty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to hit some of these comments before we go to our commercial break. Corey Van said, I don't argue with my spouse. It's never worth it to me. He said, let her talk herself into an apology. Okay, Corey.
Heard that.
Where your wife at, Corey? Put her on.
Hey, shout out to Dave Fuse, Leroy Smith, and Trina Dana. Thank you guys for joining us, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Guys, you have been listening to The Rebirth, and tonight we are talking about managing conflict. We will be back after this small break. Hey guys, it's your girl, Shay Marriott, the host of The Rebirth Show. I want to give you a look behind the scenes where we have so much fun here on The Rebirth Show. We come to you every Monday night at 7 p.m. and we bring their energy. We're just not showing you on the radio, but we're also showing you behind scenes. We're family here. If you would like to be a guest of The Rebirth Show, make sure you hit me at info@rebirthyou.com. And it is Monday, man. These weekends be going by quick.
I know. Who was the genius that said we work 5 days and be off 2? Who was that fool?
Probably was a man.
Wow, a clear one.
Where Eli at? Y'all gotta do your steak. Y'all gotta do your steak. Backwards. You gotta get this. Girl.
Every 3 seconds, a woman is murdered by an intimate partner due to domestic violence. A damaged self-worth, distorted thoughts, and fear can keep a woman trapped. It's time to renew. 50% of marriages end in divorce. Loss of identity, security, and financial instability can cause a person to grieve a relationship as if they are grieving death. It's time to rebuild. Only 10% of Americans dealing with addiction receive treatment. More than 20% of Americans with anxiety disorder also suffer from a drug use disorder. People addicted to prescription drugs are 40 times more likely to become addicted to heroin. It's time to restore. Hey guys, it's your girl, Shay Marriott. Life happens to all of us, no matter race, gender, or age. You will be challenged to rediscover who you are meant to be, and what purpose you are meant to serve.
Starting over after a life crisis, 12-step online course will help you rebuild, restore, renew, and rebirth the new version of yourself. It's never too late to start over and rewrite your story. Sometimes we have to die a little inside in order to be reborn. The rebirth.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow me at Philly Jam 95.3 FM.
Hey.
Welcome back to the Rebirth. This is Shay Marriott, and joining me tonight, my special guest, our special guest in the studio, Miss Jen Fontel is in the building. Hey,
you gonna give it the applause?
Work it out.
Hey, Jen. Hey. Jen been with us since the She Shed days.
Yes, I have.
You know what? So we're gonna break this up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I have a little question tonight, or three.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Lord.
To ask you guys. Okay. All right, now let's see. What does romance look like for you, Miss Fontel?
All right.
Oh my God. Romance. I would say long behind conversations on the phone about intellectual stuff. Okay. Dinners out, Netflixing and chill. That's actually romantic to me.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah, just the intimacy of just being home.
You do know what Netflix and chill mean,
I
right?
mean, wait. Just the Netflix part. Just
I was about to say it's a chill that gets you.
No. The Netflix part. That's romantical. I mean, just more so having intellectual long conversations. That's my idea of romance.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr.
Very
Eli,
nice.
what about you?
Oh man,
what does romance look like for you?
You know, I need her sitting beside me thicker than Heinz ketchup. You can barely pour it out. It's so thick. I need that beside me first. And then, you know what? Holding hands, having conversations, some wine. Mm-hmm. Like, I really like to, I'm kind of smooth when I need to be smooth. Mm-hmm. But yeah, conversation. I like to laugh. I want to have a good time. I don't want to be with anybody who's all stuffy. And I love a smart woman, but you don't have to be overly intellectual 100% of the day. Like, let's talk about something else too. Like, you know, so just holding hands, some good conversation, and some wine. I'm a wine drinker now.
Okay. Oh, all right, wine drinker. Okay. Red.
What does it look like for you?
Red.
Oh yeah,
So
I like sangria.
Question is,
Oh, you gonna do that?
I'm asking the questions tonight.
Oh, you're not participating.
Okay.
No, you can do it next week.
Wow.
The next question is, what is your bedroom name alter ego?
Oh my God.
I'll answer that one.
Okay, all right.
It's getting a little steamy. Eli.
Now you ladies first. Ladies first.
What would I name my bedroom?
No, what
you already call
you
her.
heard the question.
What's your stripper name? What's your stripper name in your head?
What's the name of the chick that? Did she say Pebbles?
Pebbles. And why?
No, that's the name that I gave myself. Okay.
I was saying, I guess he Bam Bam.
You. Why Pebbles?
Please, why Pebbles?
I to be honest, I can't even remember why I chose Pebbles. It just stuck. I was like, if I ever become a stripper, that'll be my alter ego.
Pebbles.
I was like, Jen, why would you want Pebbles?
Okay,
That'd be a high stripper name though.
right? Pebbles.
Coming to the stage.
Pebbles.
Yo, okay.
Wow.
What about yours, Eli?
Oh yeah, you know, I already got that in pocket. Ed Wood.
That sounds like a porn star.
You can call it what you want, you know, because my name is Ed, and I'm definitely bringing the wood. Self-explanatory. Manning Eli. Inside joke, y'all. All right, Shay.
Ooh, yes. Excuse me.
What is your alter ego name? Oh shit! I'm scared.
My alter ego name is Sapphire.
Explain.
Details.
Yes.
I'm a Virgo. My birthstone is Sapphire.
Come on, son.
I think there's
Come
a little
on,
more
son.
to that.
Yeah, you gotta do better than that. Stop with the conservatism.
That's it. Back to the topic at hand. Okay, guys. We are talking about managing conflict.
I got a question for you.
Where's my gumbo?
No, forget the gumbo. Would you rather have no elbows or no knees?
What in the world?
Which one?
No elbows.
All right, you can walk. You can bat them over like this.
Prop them up against something.
Oh my God, I cannot with you. I cannot with you. All right, so Jen, I had asked you earlier about did you find yourself in a situation with a friend in regards to managing conflict? And I didn't ask you, Eli, Edward, if you ever had.
That's what they call me, though.
Edward is what they call me.
You know what? Me and my guys, we don't really fall out. You know, men, and I've said this before, men normally fall out over money or women. Okay. So I don't owe no dude no money, and I ain't mess with no dude's woman. So at the end of the day, my best friend, my boys, we haven't had any conflict. Because what we do is, I tell you what we do is, if somebody's going a little bit left, we're at a point now at the age where we can pull them up and say, yo, dog, that's a little foul, man. Maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And we can check each other in a way, it's not a conflict, we looking out for each other.
Right,
so
right.
I think it might be a little different for men, per se. Because I ain't even argue with no other dude, man. Either go on about your business or let's fight. Let's kind of figure it out.
Well, yeah, you know what? So I've met some.
We arguing. We'll sit there and go back and forth.
I've met some. I have met some men that they was a little. I ain't even gonna go there with the word, but you know, like they really seriously want to argue back and forth, like crazy.
Wow. Call them. Go on, call it out.
I don't know.
The B word rhyme with snitch. That's what you're trying to say.
Hello, Miss Dorothy Pratt.
Hey,
Thank
that's
you
my
for joining
sister.
us.
Jonesboro, Arkansas, in the building.
Yes.
What's up, baby?
So, my circle of friends, and Jen is in that circle of friends. We. No.
He off to the side.
No.
He's that friend.
I didn't mean it that way, bro.
I know you longer than Jen.
You did. You know.
When me and you met, Jen was like 12. You gonna do that? That's how you gonna do. You know what?
Come on, I didn't mean it that way. I charge it to my.
Turn my mic off, Tosh.
Charge it to my mind, not my heart. Okay.
Carry on.
My circle of friends included Edward.
Just call me Eli. You ain't gotta keep doing that. That ain't everybody's business.
You the one put it out there, man. We have a way where, like, if something's not, like, we will sit down. Hey, everything good? My tone could be a little bit, or I might be a little short. You know, and my girlfriend Levante, she'll be like, you all right, buddy? She'll call me out in a minute, right? And the same thing, because we know each other, we study each other, we know each other, we know when something's off and something's not right, and we care enough to sit down and have a conversation.
Right.
Now, I would say maybe like a few years ago, there was a young lady that was in my circle. I was getting to know her a little bit more, and we had fostered a really good friendship. I don't know to this day what happened, and I will give a person. I'm gonna let you have your space, and I try to find out what was going on, because I really did care about this young lady. And I know I didn't personally do anything, because that's just I'm not that type of person. And if there's something going on, or if I have a beef with you, then I'm gonna come to you woman to woman. So I don't know what was happening, but it was just like, you know, she just was acting different. And I came to her, I would say at least 3 times. I'm going to give you 3 times. And I said, hey, is everything okay? You know, I'm noticing like some change. You're not either returning my calls or usually we will text, or if I say, hey, let's get up, let's do something, it was always, so I'm like, okay, something's going on. I wasn't saying that it was directly to me, but something was going on in her life. You know what I'm saying? But whatever that situation was, she wasn't able to convey it to me. And we're not friends. And to this day, I still don't know. If I was a seer, I would speak. I would, respect, whatever. But there is nothing in my heart that, like, I don't hold anything against her. If anything, I was hurt because I didn't understand what happened. And here I am as a friend, I'm trying to come to you and say, what's going on? Like, let's talk about it. What's happening? Right. And she was very passive. If I bring it up, she'd be like, oh, I love them shoes, girl. Or, girl, where you get that pocketbook? And I'm like, really? Like, what's the real? So for me, there's this prayer that I do twice a year. I say twice a year, I ask God to remove people out of my life that is not meant to be, that is not connected to where I'm going. And I won't ask any questions. You know what I'm saying? So I had to remind myself I had said that prayer, because I do that twice a year, right? Because I don't know what you or Eli may be saying or doing when we walk away. I just have to trust that you guys love me and you're being transparent, right? Only God can see. I'm just saying. Only God can see what's going on, what you do, what you say about me when you are not in my presence. So I just leave it to him. And when people disappear out of my life, I don't question it, because I remember the prayer that I asked. So if you left or if you walked away, then you wasn't tied to me. My destiny was not tied to you.
All right.
Okay. Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
I just gave out the phone number too on the live feed in case somebody calls. Tosh.
Yeah, so that was my little situation. But again, I don't come across those type of situations. That was the first time, probably the only really adult since I've been adult that I had an issue with someone. And that was probably going on now maybe about 8 years. 7 years ago. I think it was about 7 years ago.
And y'all been good ever since?
No, we don't talk.
Oh, that particular. I'm thinking
That
about the other
person.
person you brought up before. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, no, yeah. So, if I was the seer, I would speak, but we don't have any, like, I don't know. I don't know. So
that's crazy to lose a friendship and you don't even know what happened. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
There's no closure.
It's that, and and I do believe closure is overrated. Some things you don't need closure for. I think sometimes you have to get the hint of saying, you know what? This, I know I didn't do anything. When you know you didn't do anything,
right?
Closure is overrated. Why do I need closure when I know I didn't do anything? I'm not, and I'm coming to and I'm asking you, and you're still not like stepping up and saying, hey, this is what's happening, or I felt some type of way because of this. Then that tells me, okay, we're on two different levels. We're not in the same, area at this point. You know what I'm saying? You're not in a place where you can handle, whatever's going on and being able to have that conversation with me. And obviously my tolerance is just not there anymore. So peace. And that's how I took it.
Straight out of Philly. Turn it up.
Yo, listen, man. Shay got these Twitter fingers over here. She just be doing all kind of stuff over here.
I really was reaching for my water. I didn't need to hit that.
Oh, okay. You getting out of pocket around here.
So,
I mean, you make a really good point in sharing that your experience is that even though conflict is natural, sometimes it could be painful. And sometimes, the loss of friendships can feel painful as well. So not to negate that feeling is pretty common. And I think, I'm not sure what transpired in that relationship, but I think one of the other things that I notice sometimes, more amongst women, that sometimes we don't address issues directly. Like, we will let that thing linger a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, and then something small, something kind of tips the scale over, and we're just kind of over the edge.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And I don't know, again, I think that, going to therapy is very helpful when trying to develop a healthy line of communication. And when you start off the show about how you manage conflict as a child, how it was shown to you,
Right.
that has a lot to do with, us today.
Yeah.
And honestly, that like dating and stuff like that, that was one of my questions. How was conflict modeled for you in your home? That was one of my questions. How was love modeled for you in your home? Because it's important, because I know that's going to show up in our relationship.
Yeah.
What does that look like? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you're not having those transparent conversations, and then when it happens, nobody knows how to handle each other. You're going to mistake me tearing up for something else. I'm going to mistake your pressured speech, and the bass in your tone, in your voice, is you hollering at me, But if I ask those questions and you said, when I get a little bit, I get a little bassy, but I'm not yelling. My voice it starts to get. I'm just passionate. Okay, I get it. So I need to say, you getting a little bit passionate. Not yo, you yelling at me. It's a nice way of putting it. Right? It's a nice way. Like, you getting a little bit passionate, Maybe we need to,
pump the brakes a little bit.
Relax a little bit, because now my triggers is being stirred up.
But you know what? Doing, like I said earlier, doing that can make the argument more intensified.
It could.
Like trying to be the mature person within the disagreement and trying to get us to a place where I can talk, now you talk. I can listen, now you can listen. Sometimes we just never get to that point because we don't know how to manage, or what we observed growing up.
Yep.
And unfortunately for a lot of us, we didn't see, well, I'll speak for me, we didn't see healthy relationships growing up. And then I even know people who have been together forever just because they just been together forever. But it's not a healthy situation. This is just all I know. I've been with this fool for 30 years. Where am I going to go now?
Right, exactly.
So, it happens, man. And
I agree.
most of us are afraid of being in a nursing home alone. Or, you need somebody to wipe your butt and you by yourself. It happens because we're going to all get older. Some things are going to happen. Not me, because I'm going to keep trying to eat right and drink a lot of water. And you say
February,
right? Till February. I'm gonna throw it all the shits after that. But I think a lot of people stay in situations because they don't want to be alone. Not that it's great for them or healthy or it's toxic as hell, but this is what I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, of course, when we're coming to an end of a show and we're talking about these topics, that we give tips for managing conflict. So the one thing that I would like to put out there is accept conflict. It's natural. It's part of life. It's going to happen in every ongoing relationship. Everything can't be perfect. You don't grow from things being perfect. You grow when things are not perfect. Just like I tell people, you don't grow when there's no hardships. If everything is going good all the time, everything going good,
you're stuck.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
It's through the challenges that life throws at you is where you grow, where you get some girth, where you get some
some girth,
some grit.
some grit, that's where you really grow, right? So we have to stop acting like conflict. I can't. I don't do conflict, or I don't do. Now I will say, I don't do that. But when I say I don't do that, that means you either doing something that's pressuring me with triggering. You're either yelling at me, you're either cutting me off. So when I say, wait a minute, I don't do that, then
that's what you're referring to.
That's what I'm referring to. But we can have conflict, but we need to do it in a healthy way. So with that being said, someone has to remain calm. It has to be some type of calming agent, regardless of whether you are being a soundboard for a friend or you are dealing with your own conflict. It has to be a calm space so it does not escalate, because what we do know is conflict will escalate if it's not presented the right way. So again, when we're actually having a conversation with someone and we're about to address something, make sure the timing is right too, because don't.
True.
When I'm about to come on and do a show, or I gotta speak at, and you want to address something with me, that's not the right time.
Right.
Now I'm feeling disrespected, because now you're disrespecting my time and you messing up my,
your zen.
You messing up my zen, right? So I think that it's important to pick. Now you can't always be able to address things on a perfect time.
Right.
But some things we just become we lack impulse control, and we just want to blur
Mm-hmm.
it out and unload on you. And then once that's done, then you just kind of walk away going on with your day, when that other person is sitting there with all this stuff that you just unloaded.
Right.
That's not healthy.
Right.
Agreed.
Active listening.
100.
Yes, I was gonna say, do not, when you're managing conflict, do not listen to respond. Listen to what the person is saying.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times while that person, we were thinking about what we're gonna say, we don't hear a daggone thing you said.
Yep.
And then 2 weeks later, we're having the same argument over and over again.
Yep.
So yeah, effective communication. Listen to hear what that person has to say, and that lends itself to one person talking at a time. If you're able to do that, that's impulse control. That's you managing your frustration and anger all rolled up in one. If you're able to do that, you are able to come up with a solution to it. Just about, well, at least you can agree to disagree at the very least.
Yeah.
You can come up with some kind of solution to deal with whatever your issues are. I mean, listen, not listen to respond.
Right.
Absolutely. And you might want to repeat, and that's something that like in couples I teach. You know, when we talk about active listening, don't listen to respond, because most of the time the person is already thinking about what it is that they're going to say, right?
Right.
So before I say, listen, what did you hear that person say? And have them repeat it. Because now think about this. Sometimes what leaves my mouth lands on you differently.
Right.
So what I thought I said to you, you are not receiving in the manner that I thought I delivered it, right? So that's why it's important that you know, say, what did you hear me say to you?
Right.
What did you hear me? I'm not saying that you can't comprehend. I'm not calling you dumb.
Right.
I'm asking you, what did you hear me say? Because that's not how I said it, may not be the way you're taking it,
Right.
right?
Like a text message.
Exactly.
Right.
Whoa.
It's like a text message.
Yes. Do not resolve conflict via text.
No,
people.
no.
Do not do it. Do not do it. It does not work.
And reflecting is a way to kind of check the connection, right? To make sure that I'm, actively conveying what it is that I need to, and that you receive it how I'm trying to portray it. And I also wanted to mention too, and this probably might be another segment, but sometimes what we say also can be filled with a lot of, blame. It becomes, you did this and you did that. And so naturally the person is going to become defensive. Like, think about it. If someone was to address the conflict with you and they're pointing out what it is that you're constantly doing, how are you likely to respond? So a book that I read called Nonviolent Communication talks about framing our feelings as observations, right? Could what you're expressing, right, could it be caught on film, or are you adding interpretations to that, the way that you express yourself, right? So, for example, saying, you ignored me, right? Did he ignore you, or didn't hear you, right?
Right.
So just trying to kind of keep that in mind, framing how you feel, right, in terms of observations. I think that people are much more,
I like that.
would be receptive to, listening to you when it's not labeled with or filled with blame.
Right. Right.
Yep, that's a good one.
All right.
That's a good one. I know we got to wrap up, but another one is separate the person from the problem. View the problem as specific behavior or set of circumstances rather than attributing negative feelings to the whole person.
Right.
So this approach makes the problem more manageable, and hopefully it will, resolve. It will resolve what's going on, instead of looking at that person as the whole problem, being able to separate that, and understand what is it that I'm really upset about, right? Because sometimes we take things out on people.
Yes.
And it's, right? They say the people we love the most is the ones that catch it the most when something is going on. And this sometimes you just have to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you're two different individuals. You're not always going to agree on things.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
People don't believe that that's okay. We have to have some kind of resolution. You
No.
don't. It's okay.
You don't. Just like you don't have to have closure for everything.
Right. Readjust that frame and that goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other things? Any is there any comments on social media? Anybody had any questions? Eli, on your end?
No. Everything is
Everybody's
good. I
good?
just want to
Okay.
say that this time next week when we come on the show, I will be the father of a college graduate.
Yes, you will.
So I am excited about that. Shout out. Gonna laugh at my child. 4 years of all that money.
That's what's up.
But yeah, so that I'm Friday it goes down.
That's what's up. Congratulations,
Yes.
man.
Yeah, congrats to my baby Iyanna.
Yeah, so I'll get the congratulations.
The gumbo's coming after that.
Yes, so I get the gumbo after
The
you come
gumbo's
back.
coming after that. I gotta go with it one more
Hashtag
time.
where's my gumbo? Come on, y'all. Light it up on social
We're gonna
media.
really do
Where
this.
is Shay's gumbo? Listen, before closing the show, I would like to invite you guys on Delaware Concealed Carry. Ladies, especially if you are looking to, get some lessons with handling that gun. Saturday, December 4th at 8 a.m., there is going to be a concealed and carry deadly weapon. Shout out to Bill Dixon from
Bill.
100 Black Men.
What's up, Bill?
He is going to be involved in doing this. And if you guys have questions, the number is 302-293-8645. And again, that class is this Saturday. So make sure you can also sign up on eventbrite.com, Delaware Concealed Carry. I don't know. I want to take this class. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it this Saturday though, but I definitely want to take this. And this actually location is going to be in Newcastle, Delaware. Okay. So yeah, if you guys want more information, make sure that you call 302-293-8645 and get signed up. Jen Fontel, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you, Jen.
Girl,
Thank you for having me.
All right, Jen. What is it, Janelle
Monáe.
Monáe.
Like the little Janelle Monáe hat.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a
you.
pleasure having you
Yes,
on.
thank
and
you. Come back
I know you
soon.
will be back. Yes, she would definitely be back. Listen, guys, thank you for joining us tonight on The Rebirth. It has been an absolute pleasure to serve you tonight and have these conversations, real topic with real people. So let's do this again next Monday night at 7 p.m.
Yes.
Make sure you tune into The Rebirth. Follow us on all social media outlets. And if you would like to be a guest or sponsor, hit me at info@rebirthu.com. Shout out to Tasha. Philly
Yes.
5.3 in the building.
Little queen in the building.
That's right. Make sure you check out her show on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. The Turn Up Show. And
Yes, sir.
She turns up, y'all. She gets it.
I'm waiting. You gonna invite me on one time? I'm too old to be on your show. Wow. I know it's a 30 and under show right there.
That's what's up. Thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Yes.
I hope to see you next week. Until then, have a blessed night.
Bye.
Peace.
Keeping the party going all night long.
The hottest hip hop and R&B. This is the summer party station.
It's Philly Jamz.
Do me a favor, pick me up, take me out later. Don't worry about no paper, 'cause I got mine stacked up for nights like this. My life can get crazy, I deal with shit on the daily. But baby, I'm thinking maybe we could agree to work it out like this. I need you to give me your time. I need you to not wanna be mine. Are you down to play a distraction, baby? But don't distract me. Let me ask you, baby, do you wanna be a distraction, baby? Do you wanna be? Are you down to play a distraction, baby? But don't distract me. Let me ask you, baby, do you wanna be a distraction, baby? Do you wanna be? I need you to respect it. Sometimes this get me stressing, so I need you with me to keep me right and keep me up all night. We can get faded, this love can make you so jaded, so we can stay shaded, just to